What's going on, YouTube? It's TopShelfLads coming back at you with another tier list. And this time, it is the Post-Destiny Maplestory all-class tier list, and we're going to be rating these classes in terms, in according to damage output, mobility, survivability, difficulty, supporting capabilities.
That's a lot of stuff right there.
Yeah, so we're just gonna kind of go over each factor for each of these classes, all 49 classes, and then we're just gonna jump them together into one score, slap them on the list. Um, and this is our opinions based on our extensive experience from the game. Now, we've both been playing this game since 2007, or was it 2008? It was 2007. Yeah, we were 12 years old when we played this game for the first
Let's not
time.
tell him how old we were next time.
I mean, we.
Let's just
I
tell him.
mean,
Let's just tell him where we live, too, Sean. Let's just.
yeah, that's a good. Yeah, um, I live in
No.
Nexonia. I've become part of the game. Um, so yeah, let's just jump right into it, Michael, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. So first time, the first. Well, actually, you know what? Let's just go a little bit out of order here. We're gonna do the mages first because
You don't have to switch it. You can just like click on the
it,
mages.
that's all right. We have the staple class of Maplestory. This class, I mean, this class did it all for Maplestory. Like
Everything.
this class was Maplestory. When you thought of Maplestory back in the day, you thought of a bishop. That's what all it was. If you didn't have a bishop in your party doing anything, you didn't have a successful party doing anything. So yeah, but
We're not
this that
talking
was
about the old
then.
days.
This is now. So post Destiny. I would still probably have this class in the S tier. I'm not gonna lie, Michael. I mean, all right, so we're gonna go through the categories one by one. Damage
Yeah.
output. This class lands pretty much KMS. This class lands smack in the middle of everything. These classes absolutely smack like B tier, right? In terms of damage output. In terms of GMS, which is what we're doing this tier list based on, I'd say it's like hovering A B tier. What do you think?
Um. Like in general,
Yeah, just general damage
B.
output only. Yeah, B tier, okay. Mobility, I would also give it. I mean, they do have door, they do have
D tier.
like
I hate
speed.
teleports, dude. I hate teleports. They're such a
Yeah,
pain.
teleports are it's personal preference. It depends on what you're into, but I would also just land and smack that B
Why?
tier,
Why can't
B
I
hovering
jump? If
C
I could
tier.
jump and attack, I'd have no problem with teleport.
But it's also a lot better for survivability, the teleport. It's like a little bit better than flash jump, a little bit worse than dark sight, I would
This
say,
is true.
in terms of survivability,
Well,
like
dark side.
rocks,
I mean,
etc.
dark side isn't like a movement skill.
No, but it's a survivability skill.
Right, but you can't like really compare flash jump and dark.
Oh yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
true. That's true. Um, but what I'm saying is teleport could technically act as a survivability skill as well as a
100%.
mobility skill. Um,
Like S tier and Magnus teleporting, just you can
yeah,
dodge all the stuff.
yeah. Okay, so not survivability. Iframes, do they have any iframes? Yeah, they probably got one or two.
They have that fifth job
Right.
one.
Oh, they have a revive skill actually. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no, A tier for that. So we'll probably average them out. They're still B tier. They're still B tier. Um. Okay, now this is where it gets different. What do they offer to the party? Well, a lot of final damage, a lot of survivability, a lot of just everything, basically experience. Oh, and mobbing, also A tier. What do they offer to the party? S tier. So with all that taken into account, Michael, I'm probably gonna just land them in the A tier. What do you think?
That's fine with me. I'm okay with that. I was gonna say A tier as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All
Done.
right. Moving on. Fire Poison Mage. Uh, damage output S tier. Um. Oh, and also Bishop difficulty, also really easy to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll also just leave them in the A tier. Fire Poison S tier. Damage output, mobility, A tier, I
Same as the
guess.
bishop. Same as the bishop.
Yeah, exact same as a bishop. They have no iframe, they have no bind, they have nothing that they offer the party unless you're a magic attack user.
Yeah, just a straight up damage dealing class. Doesn't really care
It's
about a
just,
party.
yeah, it's really DPM is probably highest in the game.
And for those reasons, S tier.
Yeah, S tier, but I don't know. There's a lot of drawbacks in this class.
If
Difficulty, not the best. A lot of buttons on the keyboard you have to press. For like a new player starting out, I don't know
mm-hmm.
about Fire
Right.
Poison.
For a new player, no, but if Maple were still a party game like it was back in the day, this class would be like not very good, in my opinion, because it offers nothing to the party. But because
Uh-huh.
Maple today is it's just a solo game. Who are we kidding? You're
Yeah,
not partying with anybody. It's just
yeah.
S tier
At
because
least
of the
early
amount of
mid
damage
game,
you
it's
can
all
do.
solo. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Early mid game, it's all solo. I think once you get into the lucid areas, it becomes a little bit of a party game, you know. Guild reliant, party reliant. So did you say S tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, for soloing stuff, early big game. It doesn't actually require that much funding, does it? Or does it?
It does.
Oh, it does.
Actually, I'll put
Yeah.
that in A tier. I'm okay with putting that in
Yeah,
A tier.
yeah. I'm gonna snipe down A tier. Anything that like requires a lot of funding to get going is not. It kind of gets lowered down.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Ice Lightning, on the other hand, pretty much the exact same as Fire Poison, except their mobbing is way better. Their summon is way better. They
They
have a
have a
class
bind.
bind, and they have an iframe, do they not?
Don't know.
Uh, yeah, they're just a better version of the Fire Poison that is a little bit less damage, but in terms of what they gain for that little bit of less damage, and they have higher burst as well, which is
Their
arguably
teleport's
more
better.
important. Yeah, okay, their teleport's a little bit better. Well, Ice Lightning, our first S tier class. There we have
Hmm.
it. Okay, hero. I mean, their damage output is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Their final damage buffs is great. Their survivability is probably the worst of the three warriors, but it's still fine. It's still like A. We're still talking like A S tier right now. The mobbing is better. I still wouldn't classify it as good in terms of a relative to all the rest of these. So we're gonna have that probably B tier mobbing, B
Mm-hmm.
C tier mobbing. I'd even say their hitbox got improved, but whatever. So did everyone else's. Um, what else is there? Party buffs? Nothing. I mean, they have what's it called? Shout, roar, rage. They have rage. Uh,
Extra 20 or 30 attack. Don't remember.
yeah, it's whatever. I'll put them in A tier, I
Yeah.
guess. Low A tier.
In the current Maple, I put A tier.
Yeah. So I'm even tempted to throw them in a B tier, but Paladin. Yeah, we'll just throw them there. I mean, honestly, Maplestory is going in a direction where if you have a high survivability kit, you're like up there because all of your theoretical damage can actually get
Mm-hmm.
applied, right? None of these,
Yeah.
most of these other classes down here, they can't actually apply what their theoretical damage should be because they just die and they just don't get to survive. This guy, on the other hand, ignores everything,
Mm-hmm.
applies all of his damage, which means that it's very easy to live up to the actual class potential. Difficulty low, Damage is not that bad. Mobbing's fine. I mean, he's just S here. I'm gonna put him above Isolating. It's just as simple as that. I mean, it's just
Hmm.
too good.
But the real class that's S tier.
Oh, and
All the
he's got
warriors.
oh yeah. And then we have the best class here listed yet so far. Dark Knight literally ignores like you thought Paladin can ignore mechanics. I think it's like a 80% chance every time that a Paladin can ignore mechanics. This guy can actually ignore mechanics 100% of the time, depending on what phase of the boss you're in. You can just you can just be like invulnerable for you can just be iframed for 40 seconds and then just put all your burst down, just literally stand still and just
Hmm.
burst. And that's the class right there. That's the class. And at the start of the boss fight, you can just toggle what 7-second iframes with 15-second cooldown or something like that. What is it?
No, it's not that. Uh,
You know? Are you sure?
it's let's see. I believe it's either a 2 or 4 second iframe with a
Lesser?
60-second
Hmm.
cooldown.
I thought it was 7:15:40. But yeah, okay, whatever. With yeah, I mean it's still busted.
Reincarnation, yeah.
Like yeah, I mean it's broken. The class is broken. They completely buffed the shit out of the class. It's like the easiest. It doesn't require that much funding. You've got low cooldown, big burst skills like a dual blade with
Hmm.
way higher survivability than a dual blade. And it's one of those classes where I mean you could actually get away with when you get to fifth job. You can just buff your fifth job skills. Yeah, I mean, it helps buffing your
Right.
boost nodes, but if you don't have a perfect boost node to buff to start leveling, you're fine just doing your low cooldown fifth job skills and just bossing with those. And then just reincarnation full or reincarnate it doesn't matter which reincarnation you use. I mean Magnus, you can actually walk into Magnus level 200 hard Magnus and do it. No other
Hmm.
class can do that. No, not a single other class can do that. You could
And
do it with Pencilier gear
and my
or
favorite part
whatever.
about the class is that it's also, besides the fact that you're getting all this insane stuff, it's very easy to play. It's an easy to play class.
Oh, it's a joke. Yeah, it's and the animations are all sick. It's a great
Hmm.
looking class. It's not like some dumb looking class. Like I don't know some of these ever gonna get to like this one right here, dude. One of the stupidest classes. Um,
I would actually recommend this class if somebody were just picking up Maplestory.
highly, highly recommend both of these really. It just
Hmm.
depends on whether you like bright colors or whether you like dark colors, and that's really the only difference.
Yeah. All
Except
right.
he's better, but I mean slightly. Depends on the play style. Um. Okay, next we're moving on
Archers.
to the Explorer Archer Bowmaster. Dumb good class. I mean, it's just silly good. They've got a little bit better mobility now. Their mobbing is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It's like hero standard. It's like B mobbing. Their burst is good. Their burst is
Hmm.
better than Wind Archer burst. It's better than Pathfinder burst.
Every
It's a
class is
better
better
version
than
of
Wind Archer Burst.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, uh, I mean, actually,
Survivability too.
to be fair, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move him top of B tier. Actually, I'm
You're
gonna
moving
move the
Hero B tier.
Bowmaster. Yeah, because we're talking like average out between the low end to the high end, right? So just the whole like it's the whole class encompass from 200 to 250, and then we're averaging that experience. So if we were only doing these classes at 250, this would be a little bit different. And if we were only doing these classes at like 220, Bowmaster would be at approaching the top, right? Bowmaster would be up in the ST. But Bowmasters are like a class that's really good 220 for doing like all the CRA bosses, Vellum, probably not Hard Magnets, but all those like early weekly bosses, and then it falls off later simply because of like scaling issues,
Hmm.
mechanics, like mechanical issues. It just doesn't quite have it just doesn't live up to what some of these other classes can do because it's one of those classes that if you put a lot of time into this class, it's not a whole lot you're gonna get back. There's not much that can be. It's not a skill cap. This class is what I'm trying to say, but it's still dead good to make a boss roll and have it early. So I'm gonna put it bottom of A tier. Hero, a little bit different. Scales super well. Doesn't start out that good.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, we'll leave Hero bottom of A tier. I think. Yeah, well, they're about the same, I guess. Marksman, bottom of S tier, I'd say. Their mobbing is dumb good. They train so well, so easy. You just look left, shoot. You look right, you shoot. The whole map's gone. That's it. Their burst is really good. Best burst of the 3 Explorer Archers.
What's its
Um,
burst?
Cartridges, snipe shot. That they've got that oh shit button where they just pop it. They're iframed for like 10 seconds, and that's their burst too. So they're like,
What
in
I
Super
for
Smash Brothers, Super Smash Brothers, that one dude, Snake, when you hit the ball, he just disappears off the map and you just turn
Mm-hmm.
into a gunner and you shoot. That's
Oh,
their
is that an
iframe.
iframe? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. You're just iframe the whole time. They just lay down and then you're just Snake shooting from the helicopter.
I didn't like their bossing that much. Um,
Really?
yeah,
Uh,
like I
I love
understood, I understood why people might like it. It's super range heavy, but I didn't see the numbers. It wasn't spitting out enough numbers for me, dude.
none of the lines.
Not enough
Um,
lines. It didn't feel satisfying.
yeah, maybe do you have what's it called turned on? Reckless Hunt turned
I
on?
had even when I watched videos of people bossing with marksman, it just not a
Yeah, I
whole lot
guess
of
the
lines.
style. It's another example of like it doesn't scale that well. It starts out really good. Like you don't need a lot of node slots. Like
Hmm.
you're fine 220, just doing CRAs, 10k stat, you can do
Yeah.
a lot of bosses. Um Not even 10k stat, like 7k stat, you can pretty much do everything up to like Lomian, I'd say. Unless you're like God's gift at this game. You have zero lag.
Speaking from
Uh
much Lomian
I
experience ourselves.
Oh, dude, bro, I've probably run every single character this year. Whatever. Yeah, Marksman, top tier, really good
Honestly,
class, really
you could
fun too.
probably Lomian with 8k stat if we're being honest.
Yo, it's easily, dude, easily.
But
And the animations I really like. I was a huge fan of
mhm,
the animations, and the training is just so dumb easy. It's probably one of the. It's honestly, it's probably one of the best training mobbing in the class, except for maybe
yeah,
Ice Lightning, maybe Luminous. That's it.
yeah. The only sucky thing about the training is that up until you get split shot, their vertical range is like garbage.
Yeah,
And so sometimes
e
when you're flash jumping, you'll just miss a bunch of mobs because you shoot the
yeah,
arrow
but
too high.
there's so many maps. Pre 200, there's so many maps that are
Hmm.
like Excavation Site 2,
Right. But
Rocky Maps.
talking about mobbing, here's a class for you if you like mobbing.
Oh, this class is dumb easy. It's literally just hold down a button and you
Yeah.
mob everything. And they've got the assassin marks that go fly around the map and just kill everything, clean up
Hmm.
after what your main skill does. It's so sick. The animations are dead good, just dead good. It's honestly the coolest idea of the 3 archers. It's like my favorite of the 3 archers. Unfortunately, though, outside of the mobbing, it's the worst archer. Their iframe is very easy to miss. Their iframe is their burst, and it's super easy to miss. Like Vellum can disappear. It takes like maybe 2, 3 seconds to actually execute to apply the burst, and by then bosses can completely move. And if they move behind you or they go down into the ground, they disappear. You missed your burst. Oh well, boo hoo. That's it. Their tornado sucks as a burst skill because it doesn't apply it like it's way too long of a skill and you want short duration burst. Their hurricane sucks. Worst hurricane skill in the game. It's also their hyper skill. Like why? Uh, they've got super stance, which is kind of cool. Aside from that, they're pretty cool. I mean, I like them. They're my favorite class in the game, but they suck. I'm probably gonna have them hovering B or C tier. Their mobbing is the only S tier thing, and then pretty much everything else about them is below A tier. So we'll leave them in B tier. But they're super awesome class. Really good. Okay, Shadower, we're probably gonna have right here. This
You're
class is
gonna throw that in
broken.
S tier.
This class is another broken class. Like my Shadower can pretty much do every boss under Lucid in the game, and he's 10k stat. And it's busted. Like you can just ignore mechanics if you have your smoke screen. Nothing can kill you if you're inside your smoke screen. You can perma dark sight inside there. Their final damage is obscene. Their damage is just disgusting. They've got a targetable iframe. So you have an iframe every 20 seconds, I'd say, as long as you have an enemy to target, meaning that if you're like in the corner doing CPAP and the lasers touch, you won't be able to iframe. But if you're right next to CPAP and the lasers touch, you can iframe it. No big deal. Um, That's a busted class. So good. Their mobbing is so much better now. They're bossing. What do they offer the party? If they throw their smoke screen up, they offer the whole party inside their smoke screen 20% crit damage.
That's
Broken.
insane.
Absolutely broken. For what, 30 seconds every 2 minutes? That's fine. It's really good. Really good. And then they scale super well. They start out really good and they end really good with their 250. From 200 to 250 is really good experience. Little tricky to play, but it's actually not that tricky to play. It's not like a blaster katana. You just press assassinate while you're pressing Mesa
Yeah,
button.
you
That's
just
it.
face roll two buttons. Just
Yeah,
two
that's
buttons.
all
Just,
it is. Um, and their mobility is so good. They've got a dash on the ground skill, and they've got a longer dash skill with a cooldown, but it's not like yeah, it's so good. They've got a full kit. They've got a full kit. Like everything. They've got all of it. They just don't have as good of survivability as these two, which is why these two are placed higher.
yeah.
But their damage is actually better. It's just a little bit harder to commit all the damage. Night Lord, we're gonna throw down here. I mean, sure, they've got the best burst in the game. That's it. That's it. That's all they have. Their mobbing is not that great unless they're disgustingly funded. Like, sure, when you're post 250 training in Limina, yeah, and you're assassin and you've got like over 1,000 arcane force. Yeah, sure, you're doing great. You're one of the best mobbers in the game.
Yeah.
But aside from that, what do they do well, Michael? Like, what do they do well?
Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you what they did well.
Yeah, they
Besides
die
whatever you
well.
said.
That's what they're really good at. They're really good at dying while they're trying to commit their damage because they're just standing on top of the boss. And like, you think of a range class, and this actually has the lowest range in the game. This is the lowest range class in the game. And in 2009, it used to be one of the highest range classes in the game, besides bowman and crossbowman. That's it.
And Corsairs.
I mean, I don't even think. I think they had a little bit. Yeah, they had about the same range Corsairs. You could say.
Yeah. Sean uh,
I made a
played this
boss
class
meal
for
out
a
of it.
bit.
It was a tragic
Was
story.
very excited about it at the beginning. But then it's now C tier, so
It's just a garbage class. I mean, it's cool. Like, yeah, during burst, yeah, fun. You get to, be switched on. You gotta apply it, like, commit all your damage. Don't die inside of a 10-second bind window, which is not long enough. And then they're pretty much a useless class outside of that burst. They're actually useless. They're trash. You spend a lot of the time waiting. Like doing hard Magnus is fine with this class because you just die a couple times, wait your 3 minutes out, and then burst. And that's it. That's it. That's all. That's all this class can do. Bind burst. That's it.
Yeah,
Garbage class. Garbage
we
everything up
definitely like
until they become
Shadowers
super.
better.
Yeah, the shadows are actually broken this fast. Oh, and then we have dual blades. Yay for dual blades. We're gonna throw dual blades just under shadowers because
I'd put them above Ice Lightning. I mean, I put Ice Lightning above Dual Blades.
oh you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean they're good. They're good because they're kinda like Dark Knights in the sense that um their boost nodes are or their skills are good. The fifth
Hmm.
job skills are really good. Low cooldown, high damage. You can boost them immediately. Something stopping you from boosting them. Great bossing wheels, good survivability. They've got dark side, um, good mobility,
Ass mobbing.
fine mobbing. They're fine mobbing because you just use your fifth job skills. Post fifth job, their mobbing is fine. Pre fifth job, it doesn't matter. Uh,
Especially if you're terror burning. Matters even less.
yeah. Wanna- If you want to have a boss meal, a good boss meal, dual blade, excellent. Terra burn them, get them to 220 ASAP. You can pretty much do every boss under the low mean row.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Their IED is irrelevant. You can ignore your IED because most of your skills just have 100% IED. Their base IED is stupid. It's pretty
Hmm.
much good enough to do all those bosses.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks about this class is they probably have the hardest boost node to get in the game. They're probably the hardest boost node to acquire in the game. They've got way too many skills pre fourth job that just ruin all their boost nodes. Yeah. So there we have it. I'd still put them in S tier though because everything else is fantastic. They
Yeah.
offer nothing to the party too. Actually, you know what? We'll put them.
I just think they're such a good class. I'd keep them in S tier.
Yeah, yeah. They're just too good. Okay, Buccaneer. This is what all the hype is. Everyone hyping up Buccaneers because they're so good. They're so great. Honestly, dude, they're not as good as everyone makes them up to be. I'd probably have them around where the fire poison mages are. They don't offer much to the party except speed and fusion, which is irrelevant because everyone's at 0 attack speed anyways when you get late enough in the game. Um, their mobility is good, sure, but it's a little bit hard to execute early on until you actually start playing the class enough.
Hmm.
Their burst is pretty weird to use, right, Michael? Because it's like a hold down burst, and you're
It's
not actually iframed
yeah,
until the end of it, so
it's
you can die.
interesting because their burst isn't bad. It's just one of their burst skills is also their iframe. So in some situations, you would have to sacrifice damage to keep the iframe ready. So sometimes you can't use it all, but they made it easier for the iframe. If you just double tap the attack, it'll immediately go to the iframe, as opposed to before the revamp, where you had to use the full attack before the iframe, and it was just an abysmal time.
Garbage. Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, I'd throw it in A tier. I'd put it uh,
yeah.
below the fire poison, above the
You can put
bowmaster.
below. Yeah, yeah. That's valid. I'd actually.
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking about this hero. This hero's gonna go there.
their mobbing though
Eh,
is top tier.
Heroes are
The
actually
Buccaneer.
good. It's just Buccaneer. Oh yeah, Buccaneer mobbing, funnest in the game. You just zoom around the whole map, delete everything. Lord of the Deep, so good. It's so bust. You just max Lord of the Deep, and you become one of the best mobbers
Hmm.
in the game early on
Yeah,
because you have a skill that you can actually just fully invest in. Like if you get any experience nodes, just put them in Lord of the Deep.
yeah.
Done. But
Corsair.
in as far as GMS, I'd rate them a little bit lower than KMS simply because of their name. Buccaneer, Corsair, those are legitimately the same exact thing. Buccaneer and Corsair mean the same thing. So one's using their fists, one's using guns. KMS got it right. Viper, because they're all about sea serpents, and Captain, because they're all about their crew.
Hmm.
That's it.
Captain's
Makes
just
way
a
more
sick
sense.
name.
Captain is way sicker than But as far as
Corsairs.
GMS is concerned, they're called Corsairs, and they're cool. I'm not massively into summon classes. Um, I'm just not that into them. But if you're into summon classes, this
There's
class is
nothing
really
like it.
good.
The only
This class,
only only
this class
summon, like
is
really summon class that I know.
high damage output. A little bit of setup involved, but it's not that bad once you get used to it. I'd actually have them probably. I'd actually have them above both of them as far as damage output goes, bossing capabilities.
Fire poison's ahead of it. It's hard to tell you.
What what you think fire poison's above Corsair?
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really? But as far as like optimized gameplay goes for like yeah, maybe you're right. I mean these don't require that much. Yeah, whatever.
It's
It's
a lot of
fine. They're
micromanagement.
what, Corsair or fire poison?
Corsair.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you kind of want to position the boss. It's a lot of like boss positioning as well as your
Hmm.
position.
And then you just have to remember all of your summon cooldowns and reapply them. Those run out.
Yeah, yeah, true. All right, that's good. It's looking pretty decent.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna drop that down. I'm gonna drop that down because that this class is literally trash until like way late game, and then they're one of the best until you get to freaking Cernium, and then they become one of the worst again. So it's just not even worth it. They've got like 10 levels from 250 to 260. They're like one of the best classes, I guess,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
bosses. All
If you
right,
like
Cannoneer.
lines, if you like lines, you'll like this class. This
This is line
class has
story.
lines.
The most lines in the game.
So many lines too.
Really good for clearing golems in Lucid. Uh, I mean, their animations are cool. I'm not super into the class. I think it's a little clunky. Their mobility is good. I just don't really like the whole concept of the class. Uh, their mobbing is good. I don't think their bossing is that good. I'm actually
Hmm.
probably going to keep them above the Pathfinder. Pathfinder's going to go in C tier. This is my favorite class in Maplestory, but this class is garbage. It needs help.
Next on, if you're
Uh,
watching this, please buff Pathfinders.
yeah. I mean, they went from being the broken class in the game to like the second worst class in the game. It's pretty sad. All right, Michael, what do you think about the Cannoneer? What else do you want to add to it?
I think B tier is
Oh,
fine.
really?
I like its mobbing. I like its
Yeah.
fifth jump skills. Those are sick.
It just doesn't really have
Um,
any like special abilities like all these classes kind of do somewhere or another.
yeah, I could see an argument for A tier, but I'd be fine to keep it B tier.
Yeah. Easy. Jet is pretty much the same story as Cannoneer. Really good mobbing. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Good damage output.
Hmm.
Everything's good about it. Like it's literally just everything's good about it. But when I say good, I mean average. Just everything's average
Yeah.
because it doesn't quite meet any of what these classes can do.
Hmm.
Well, no, it does, but it just doesn't have that above exceeding factor in one of those five categories that we listed at the beginning, which all of these classes do. Like damage output brings it above into the A tier. Party um capabilities brings it
Utility.
above. Damage, yeah, utility, damage output, damage output, mobility. Buccaneer, Buccaneer gets mobility, which brings him into the A tier. And Bowmaster is simply due to like difficulty. Their
No, dude.
difficulty is so easy, which brings them up. Same
It's
with
it's
Marksman.
it's mobbing puts it in A tier, not mobility.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Mobility brings it in. But Buccaneer is just fun. Buccaneer is just a fun class to
yeah,
play.
just super
It's also
fun.
a head boss class to play.
Yeah.
Because you will get yourself killed doing all the mobility mechanics of the Buccaneer.
All right, let's move on to
Okay,
Titus
Dawn
Knights.
Warrior. It's gonna
A
go
tier.
probably right there, right? A
Yeah,
tier.
yeah.
All right. Well, it's definitely top of A tier. It's
It,
definitely top of
for
A tier.
me,
Let's
for
hear it.
me, it doesn't have that special sauce that makes it S tier. You know, it's super good class. Like hidden boss type, very good damage range for not a lot of uh, money spent on it.
Yeah.
It's just some of the mechanics of the Dawn Warrior are not good.
Yeah. The
The
mechanics suck.
the up down bossing skill and the mobbing skill with the ping issues, not great. And then with the ignition update in the winter,
Identity
the,
crisis.
I don't know what they did to that class, but the
They
mobbing
ruined it.
looks so bad. The fourth job skills, fifth
It's just
job the same, but oh,
yeah,
it just doesn't look
the
good.
whole identity crisis of
Hmm.
of the job just ruined, completely ruined, dude.
Yeah,
Like I don't know what this whole Cosmos thing coming in is.
I was
Galaxy thing
I
is
was super
garbage.
fine with just sun and moon, and then like,
Yeah,
how about space? It's like,
yeah. Like what, dude? Come on. That's what this job is for. That's what
yeah,
this job. This job
that's
is the
what
whole
Jet
space
is
thing.
for.
Astronaut. And just
But
if you don't like jet enough, bring in another class.
hmm
Astronaut,
yeah,
Xenon. I mean, they didn't have to ruin the Dawn
yeah.
one. It was Cosmos bullshit.
But a good amount of
But it's
lines,
still a
super
really
good
good
amount of
class.
lines. We don't like the
Class
class A
fine,
tier.
iframe, super high damage output. Pretty easy to use as long as you
Hmm.
can sort out the ping, which is getting fixed in
Hmm.
ignition. As long
Yeah,
as you can get past the whole s- identity crisis that
yeah.
this job is about to have.
Honestly, I'd be fine
It's
putting
no
this at
longer
the.
what
I'd be
putting it at
fine
what.
putting this at the bottom of S tier. Honestly,
Yeah, I think so too. The class is way too good. Actually, I'm gonna take marksman out of S tier. I'm gonna put it
I think.
just below bishop. I mean, the class is broken. The mobbing of this class is so stupid, but it's actually now that I'm looking at it, I'm gonna
Hmm.
put it
Yeah,
right
like
below marksman.
I don't think I'd ever put marksman on the same tier as like dual blade. Let's say.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
you know who I would put on that same tier?
Yeah,
Wind
this
archers.
bad boy.
That's an easy S tier. It's a
This
broken
this is
class.
actually where I was trying to put the mark. This is actually just gonna replace the marksman. We're gonna have it right above Dawn. This class is really good, super beginner friendly. You can literally log on, play Wind Archer to its maximum potential, and then log off and get one bill of missiles. You're level 220. I mean, Michael, why don't you walk us through it? Like, what did you do with it? Where did this
Uh,
take your account?
I got to 220, and then I could do all the bosses before low being at like some stupid low amount of range because knew nothing about this game. Uh, it has probably the most broken skill in bossing, uh, the crystal skill.
Uh, Emerald Flower, as it's called.
Hmm. And the bosses will just target the crystal instead of you, so you can just place it down,
Like, it
pop
works
into
on Golem.
CRA, and then just wail on the bosses, and they
Just
can't do
hold the button
jack
down.
about it. You just
You
hold
literally
the
have a
hurricane, just hold nothing else you can do
and
because you can't
you have
move during it.
one of the best dodging skills in the game, I'd say, because it's like
Gale
it's
barrier.
got a big and you have Gale Barrier, but you have the Wind Walk,
Oh, you're
which
talking about
is
Windwalk, yeah.
it's super good, and you can use it in the air, like you can jump
Hmm.
and use it. Like it's such a good skill. Like this class is designed to just eliminate gauntlets.
Yeah. The only thing that it's not good at is burst. It's zero burst, second worst in the game.
Who's
I
the
don't know.
worst person in the game?
I feel like it's Phantom. Has to be Phantom.
Phantom has good burst. Are you
I'm just
kidding me?
kidding. I meant DPS. Not really. You think Phantom has good DPS?
Uh, DPS? Yeah,
Like
no, Phantom is really
burst.
good. Yeah, burst. Yeah, no, their burst is really good. Fifth job, dude. They don't even need to copy burst skills in fifth job. They just copy buffs, and then they just use all their burst. They're actually a really good boss in mill. Phantoms are
Uh,
sleeper boss in mill.
Hmm.
Um, but we'll get into that later. Yeah, Wind Archer's really good. Simple to simple class. Not much to talk about. I mean, it's just you jump on, you play the class, you go walk into every single boss, you put your emerald flower down, you wind walk out of danger, and you hold the button down. And their emerald flower is one of the it's probably the most beautiful looking hurricane in the game, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a gorgeous looking skill. What do you think?
Yeah, super, super good looking. I will just
Such good
say,
look.
just to update the people, I looked up the KMS Destiny DPS chart, and Phantom is the second to last.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they don't take into account all the mechanics. That
Uh,
I mean, this class is broken. This class is actually broken. Sacrosanctity, you have a 30-second iframe, and you just wail, and your fifth job skills are very good. And don't look at cameras, dude. That's all theoretical. That's all just on a dummy. That doesn't take into account that you have a 30-second iframe to apply your burst, which none of these other classes
with
have,
with a
except for
900
this one
second
and this
cooldown.
one. Yeah, but, I mean, dude, the boss is dead in 30 seconds. It doesn't matter if the 900
The
second.
boss,
Log
the
off and
boss
log
is
into a different boss build.
boss is definitely not dead in 30 seconds, and then you're just out of hyper skill. So,
Yeah, it's fine.
so
I mean,
Wind
it's
Archers
broken.
S tier, easy.
Yeah, easy as to.
Enough said.
All right. Nightwalker. Uh, I'll probably put it there. It's
Yeah,
good. It's a really good class. It's a better version of the Night Lord, but it still has the same limitations that a Night Lord has. Like outside of burst, it's got better windows for applying damage than the Night Lord does, but it's just not that good. There's just a lot of things holding the class back, and their modeling's not that good. I'd say their boost notes are actually better than the Night Lords. Their mobbing is a little bit better than the Night Lords, simply because of that summon, and their bats are a little bit better than Assassin's Mark.
if you can
That's
one
about
shot,
it.
they're a little bit better. Yeah,
Yeah,
Burst is super good, but I'm not a huge fan of it. So C tier is
no,
fine.
it requires a little
Maybe
bit
B
more
tier
setup.
if it
C
has
tier
more
is fine.
survivability as well than the Night Lord.
It has more survivability than the Pathfinder, but I don't think it's as good as these classes. The modeling's
No, that's
not good
fine.
enough to
I'm fine with that.
bring them up there. All right, but there it is. Can we can we can
Enough
we
said.
read? I mean, dude, this class. I mean, before Kana existed, which Kana's dead now. I'm just gonna re-go over that little spiel that we had last time. I mean, this class used to be the farming class. Like, there's a reason all the bots, all the people that were using codes and like just like I mean, this was like all the hackers, Blaze Wizard, like, even way back in the day, Blaze Wizard, bottom deepest parts of Sleepywood, leave it there, suck up items, make millions of mesas in a day, which is a lot
Basically,
back then.
if you were playing Maplestory back then and you weren't playing a Fire Blaze Wizard, what were you even doing? Like,
But yeah, you weren't playing the game. If you
you were
didn't have a
playing.
Blaze Wizard farm, you weren't playing the game, dude. That's just it's easy. And this was before Common days. Like this
Mhm.
class was busted for farming. But we're talking
Nowadays,
about now. We've got our first D tier class. That's it. That's all it is. Got bossing garbage, mobbing. I mean, it's
Mom is
not
pretty
garbage, but
good.
it's not
Mom
good.
is pretty good.
Yeah, okay. Mobbing's their best facet, and I'd say it's bad. Everything else, what do they offer a party? Nothing. Their teleport, they don't even have a teleport. They have a flash jump. Garbage. It's just garbage class. It's all there is to it. They might be a little bit better at bossing and mobbing come ignition, but we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm gonna
it's just
put
trash. But this class
Thunderbreaker.
used to be broken back in the day. Thunderbreaker, really good class. We'll put it
Love the
top D
aesthetics.
tier.
Super cool.
One of the best
Super cool
aesthetics in the
class.
game, best animation in the game, quickest horizontal movement in the game. There's really nothing wrong with it. It just doesn't quite have what these A
Yeah.
tier classes have.
And I would say one of the more annoying ones to play, which makes it not as good.
Yeah,
You're
mana
basically
thirsters.
face rolling. You're face rolling the combo keys. It's not always a good time, especially the higher levels when it takes like literally 3 months for one level and you're just tapping those two keys for 3, 4 hours a day. It's a bit tiring.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me, I just want to hold one button down. I can't be
Mm-hmm.
asked to hold two buttons down. This class right here, this one is no, no. This is not okay. This class is not okay.
But we'll
That
get to
class
that
has
one.
issues. All right, here we are. Michael's favorite
Best class in the
class.
game. Best class in the
Michael's
game,
been
no
holding out on
question.
this class for ignition. He's gonna hyper burn that bad boy to 250. And to be
Once I
fair,
heard,
I agree. I agree. This class
yeah,
is basically a better version of this class because it's got lesser pack, but more often. Every 7 seconds, it has a what, 3 second iframe or a 4 second iframe,
they're
which is
changing
also
it
an
to three
FMA.
second. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's got it's got a 40% uptime iframe, uh, which is also an FMA, so its mobbing is not that bad. It's mobbing outside of that sucks because their hitboxes are all trash. Um, their animations all revolve around a shield, which kind of sucks in my opinion. It's not great animations. It's like a less good version of the Paladin as far as animations go. But as far as like actual playability goes, bossing, this
it
class is the best.
ignores so many boss mechanics,
All of
and
them, all of them.
it's just a game changer when you can just not get hit by Lotus lasers anytime ever. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so nice.
you you can legitimately stand still, Lotus P1, never have to move, and win with probably 7K stat. You can do Lotus. So can
Sounds
this
about
class,
right.
but
Sounds about right, honestly.
this class requires even less input than this class does
When
for
ignition
doing Lotus.
drops, the Mihil's gonna be my man, no question.
Yeah, I mean this class is just dumb. This class is literally the best class in the game.
Yeah. Honestly, Sean
For
and I are
like
probably just gonna have a party of two Mihils going through all the bosses.
probably. I mean, I haven't brought myself to that point,
I mean, that's the end game, though.
but like, yeah, if you want to easy walk through the game, experience all the content, put as little effort into your character as possible, have the lowest amount of stat, this right here is your class.
But the most
And
amount of
this one,
fun.
but this one is
Yeah.
just stupid. It's just literally sleeper. You can sleep through the whole game, do all the bosses, all the
And that's
content.
what I'm about.
This class, on the other hand, uh, I'll put it top of A tier because it's absolutely broken. It's such a good class, but it's a very high effort. And
Hmm.
when I say very high effort, it's probably in the top 5 classes for high effort. Let's see. Let's just go through it real quick on it in our heads, Michael. So we've got one, top five, top five, top five. Uh, so that's three. Top
Thunderbreakers?
five. That's four. And yeah,
Thunderbreaker?
Thunderbreakers are up there. Nah, actually, Mercedes top five. But Thunderbreakers isn't up there, dude. You press two buttons. I mean, that's really it.
All
It's a
right,
combo
I
class,
want
but
you
it's
to
not like
play a Thunderbreaker to 200. Tell me what do you think?
bro. I did. I got a Thunderbreaker to the max level 120 in 2009.
Sean, that was not the
2000
same class.
2008.
That is
Dude,
literally a different
2010.
class. You had the zero combos.
No, you had combos, dude.
Sean, I
You
want you to look up
had
a
the chunk.
video and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I was just chucking electric sharks across the map. There was no
Yeah,
combo."
that was fire, bro. That class was fire, dude. I
Yeah,
made a
back in the
class.
day.
I named it Electrobuzz. This class was OG, dude.
Okay,
I think I was
okay.
like top 5 CPQ.
All right, tomorrow you're gonna hop on in like the old days. You're just gonna get a character to 120, and you're just gonna get a Thunderbreaker to 120. Just tell me what you think. You're gonna be like, "Oh, you were so right. This class is a pain."
I don't know, dude. You should try playing the Kadena and then compare the two, because dude,
Oh, I
Kadena's
did. I'm not saying like Cadenas aren't hard. I'm just saying Thunderbreakers are definitely top 5 in my opinion for difficulty.
yeah, yes. Thunderbreakers are sort of the same as blasters, because it's really you're just like when I say high effort, I really just mean high button input, which isn't really the same as high effort.
Hmm.
But yeah, high button input, sure. Thunderbreaker, blaster. I'd put them at the low end of high effort classes. Um,
But oh yeah, Orans. Uh, Again, if
oh
you're
yeah.
just starting out, S tier class.
If you like arcade games and whatnot, I mean, it's technically S tier class. I'm still gonna put in, but they have a class bind, which actually the class bind alone probably bumps them up to the bottom of S tier. I mean, such a good class, really fun to use, really just great class altogether. They've just got the full package. The only thing holding them back from what these classes have is their button input. They've got a huge amount of button input, which kind of makes them, they kind of play like an arcade game. So if you're into that, it's probably up here with these three classes. But if you're not into that, it's kind of a drag. That's about all there is to say. Evan, they're
We
right
have
above Blaze
another
Wizard.
D tier class.
Yeah, I mean this class just has nothing going for it. Their burst is missable. You can literally walk into Damien and miss the entire burst and have to wait like 90 like 2 minutes before you have your burst up again. And it's trash. Um I mean, yeah, dude, that's just it. Like the class is just
It just
not
doesn't have it.
great
It
to
just
play.
doesn't have it.
They're cool if you're into dragons and everything. The animations are great, but aside from that, they are pretty bad. And that's really all there is to say, dude.
Yeah.
Their mobility is not great. Their mobbing is really good. That's the best thing going for them. And when I say really good, I mean bottom of A tier, top of B tier. Right around, yeah.
Yeah. Mercedes. Before you talk about the Mercedes, because I'm just gonna say, in my opinion, it is a C tier class. I do not like playing it. That's about it. It's a good class, in like
Yeah.
bossing, damage, all that fun stuff. But I had zero enjoyment playing that.
Yeah. So this class is a great example of a class where because you have to make it first, as far as like if you're building an account, this is the first class that has to be made.
It's what the
It
most
sucks
people
because it
recommend.
sucks when it's weak. It sucks when it's weak. But you get it to 120 and then you don't touch it for a while. And then you come back when your account is good, like built, like you've got a 4K Legion. You come back to this, get it to 210. Actually, a really good class. And then you leave it at 210. And if and only if you actually like this class, like its playstyle, like fifth job, their mobbing is so good. Fifth job, like from 200 to 210, this class is like top of A tier mobbing. Like you just get on your horse, get on your pony, and you just delete the map. 90 seconds later, you get on your pony, delete the map. That's it. Like their burst rotation for mobbing is so good. They've got two iframes, one of which is like a like a hold down iframe. Their water shield, which got changed in Destiny. This class actually improved a lot in Destiny for survivability. Their damage output is obscene, and this is probably one of the best bossers in the game. Uh, at late game. So like doing Saren, doing Argus, one of the best bossers in the game. Like that's at the point where these classes right here, they actually start falling off. And like this class right here starts kind of, no, actually not this class, but this class right here. No, not actually this class. Because Saren requires a target for your iframe. So like this class can just hold down water shield when Saren does her like delete the map unless you have an iframe that doesn't require a target thing. This class
Heroes.
excels. The what did you say?
Heroes have a 20-second iframe, so it'd be pretty in that category. Sorry, an
Yeah.
iframe every 20 seconds is what I meant to say.
Oh, heroes too. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah. I mean, heroes are good for Saren, I guess. Like it's not that bad. But you need touch canceling as well. And this class is the king of touch canceling right here with their lightning dash thing for Saren.
Where would you put
This
it?
class is just the best for doing Saren. Like Mercedes is just legitimately the best class for doing Saren. But I mean, that's one boss, and that's super late game. And to go
Mm-hmm.
through all the grief this class is to go through just to get there.
Yeah.
You have to like the playstyle. If you like this playstyle, it's kind of similar to the Iran, like super high effort, super high input, linking combos. Like it's so hard. But if you like this class, it's a lot of fun. It's a huge amount of fun. So Michael puts it in C tier. Potential wise, it's like up in S tier for me. But for
Where
all the
would you put it?
grief that it puts a lot of accounts through, I'm probably gonna put it bottom of B tier.
Fine.
Just because you really gotta like the style. Okay, Phantom, we'll probably put it here.
The most
I
tragic class in
actually
the
think
game.
I I mean it is super tragic. I actually think the class is pretty good, but I think this class, if next time wants to dial in and switch on, this class could be top of it. This class could be the best class in the game, but for some reason next time just doesn't want to allow it.
Just let it steal every single skill. It won't break. It won't break it. I promise.
Right? Like honestly, this class should be able to steal bossing skills. Like this class should just be able to steal any skill in the game.
Yeah. It should be able to steal dark
Bosses,
side.
whatever, Sacrum, thing,
Yeah, don't know about that, uh but at least dark side.
Never watched Kurgo's basketball. Anytime this class is in the same room as another, like this class should have a skill where
He passes a basketball.
it should be able to copy whatever skill is being used inside of a window, right? So if you're fighting against, I don't know, Will, and he throws out his tornado, you should go into your skill mode, which should also act as a iframe. Take that into account, and then you should be able to launch it back at Will. Boom, insta kill
Yeah.
Will, you win. Best
Yeah,
game,
just
fast.
you steal their skill that one shots you, and then you just one shot them back. And then it's just like
That's
easy
it.
game.
All it is. It's not that hard. Hard.
If Nexon
You walk
did
into
that,
Sarah, level 220, one shot Sarah. Not even hard.
hey, why 220? You could do it at 200 with like 4K stat.
Yeah, you could. You probably could. Not even 4K stat. You could probably do it. What is your stat? Like an unfunded stat level when you're 200. I think it's like 3K, right? It's like
Maybe,
ish.
yeah.
It's like 3 to 4K. Yeah, you could walk in the sand and just delete it. And there's
Von
nothing wrong
Von.
with that. There's no reason why the class shouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you steal Vaughn. You
It's a
steal
little his
Vaughn
little
Von's
bing.
100%, 100% one tap. And that's it. And you beat the game.
Yeah, that's what I think they should do. And in my mind,
But
Phantom is like top of S tier, coolest class in the game. But
yeah,
in current Maple, yeah, not good. Not good.
it's pretty trash. There's just too many limitations around the class, which just hold it back, which is so sad. Because the class is like pretty much it's one of the best storylines too in the game, I think. It's cringe, but they're all cringe. But yeah,
Yeah, all right, we
that's
should move
about
on.
it. But yeah,
Luminous.
let's move on. Okay, moving on to Luminous. I'm gonna put it up here. I mean, the class is really good. Like it's another full package class. Actually,
Hmm.
it's pretty much the same as Ice Lightning, minus the class bind, right?
Is it good at bossing?
Oh, it's disgusting at bossing. Ender, you just pop Ender, you pop Gate. Their mobbing is probably the second best in the game, right?
Mobbing is very good, yeah.
Possibly the best in the game. Actually, no, second best
No,
in the game because you
definitely
have to deal
not.
with dark mode. That's why.
Uh,
Um,
it's probably top 5.
yeah. So it's S tier mobbing. It's S tier bossing because of equilibrium and Ender, and it's Ender is such a good skill. Uh, here, what I mean, what else is there? Like outside of that, the class maybe isn't the best, but it doesn't matter because your equilibrium is you've got like 80% uptime on equilibrium, I'd say,
Yeah,
right?
but outside of
75% uptime.
equilibrium, trash class, but during equilibrium, very, very good. I personally do not like playing this class, but I understand why it's good.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really like this class.
What
It's
levels are you,
another hold the
Luminous?
button. Oh, he's he's like two, he's in the 200s. I forgot. I haven't
Yeah,
touched him in a while,
yeah, but
but
super Luminous enjoyers here.
it depends on what account, like what account are we talking about? 'Cause I do have a 120 Luminous on one of my accounts, but it's
But
I mean, it's
yeah,
whatever. That's my baby account.
yeah. So Sean will put this S tier, and we can keep it there. I myself will put it B tier.
Really, you're putting in B tier. I mean, this is one of the top boss meals that you can have, but I mean, I understand the limitations around the class.
Is it really?
Oh, dude, broken ass class. Dude, mobbing? This class is the easiest class to grind to 210. Like if you need the level 3 link skill, which everyone needs ID if you want to advance your account.
So you're
This is
saying
the
it's easier to get
easiest.
a
This
Luminous to 210 because of its mobbing than a Fire Poison to 120?
well, probably not because I mean it's it's easier to get a freaking Beast Tamer though. No, Beast Tamer is actually good now. Dude, it's easier to get uh Mercedes to 120 as the first character in your account than it is to get a Luminous to 210.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously,
All right.
but Luminous
There's
is
no
still absolutely
shade.
busted. We can put it bottom top B tier. My
That's fine.
opinion might be a little biased. I think it is very
We can do
good as a
A tier
boss.
then. We can put an A tier.
Uh, yeah, okay, we'll put it in A tier. It's right on. It's right on. So,
Yeah.
all
My
right,
current
Shade, take us
main.
away.
My current main is a shade. Easy S tier. Um, just probably the most solid class in the game. Damage is pretty good. Burst is fine. Survivability,
Hers is non-existent, but yeah, okay.
great. Great. Best movement still skill in the game, in my opinion. It passes the windwalk. Their backstep is insane. It's an animation cancel. The beginning part of it is kind of like a teleport, so it might be an iframe, but its
Oh yeah,
timing
you
is
can backstep
weird.
through Lotus lasers.
It has a teleport, which you can just teleport through the lasers. Party
You can
utility
also
off the
Foxtrot.
charts. I'd say either a 9 out of 10 or a 10 out of 10 for party utility. Bind, you can bind basically whenever you want. Every you virtually get 3 binds, which is always good. You get final damage. I think 20%. You give the party 20% final damage. It used to be 50, but Nexon thought that was too good, so they moved it down to 20. And do you wanna talk about the party utility as someone who benefits from the shade, Sean?
Well, for Night Lords, yeah, I mean they're great, but they don't give party iframes, so they're not as good as a paladin. This class, this class right here makes this class bottom of A tier, but without being duoed with a paladin. I mean, if we're talking solo progression, yeah, we'll leave
Mm-hmm.
that there. But yeah, I mean, this class
Party with the shade
brings all these
makes it
garbage
maybe.
high burst classes. Like this
Yeah,
brings the Phantom out, brings the Night Lord out. It just doesn't give my frames. So
but damage is always. We all like seeing bigger numbers, so I'll take the
yeah,
damage over the survivability.
I mean, we all like being able to not see a boss move every 90 seconds for 10 seconds. We do like seeing that. I will say though, don't bring this class to Akechi or Princess No if you have minimum damage. If you're actually struggling to do the boss. Princess No is a free boss anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Akechi, yeah, we forgot a little bit about Akechi. Just because usually we just walk in there every week and blow Akechi up with one of our ults. But we were doing a minimum progression phase on a couple characters. We walked in with a shade with our current mains. My Pathfinder, this shade, garbage classes, but they're our favorite classes, so we
Okay,
save them for
Shade's an
last.
S tier. I don't know what you're talking
It
about.
is S tier class, but we walked into a catchy, binded him, unplayable boss. If you bind a catchy at the beginning, absolutely unplayable boss. And it just makes life miserable. But he's just doing FMOs all over the place. Not even a targetable boss. There's like 9 of them running around. Garbage. We died out. It was pretty sad.
Yeah, and
All because we chose to bind.
that's not really a Shade specific thing. That's more of a bind thing.
No, that's more of a write next on an email and fix a catchy. You should be able to
Hmm.
bind that boss and not pay massive repercussions for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Pathfinder or Battle Mage, I'll put it in the A tier. I'll
we're
probably put it
moving on
right
to the
above.
resistance.
Oh, actually, oh shoot, dude. Oh yeah, so we're done with heroes. Moving to resistance now. So this class, I would have it right here, just based on everything outside of party of what it offers a party. But based on party utility, it goes right there. What do you think, Michael?
That's fine with me.
I mean, it has that. I don't even know how the class works, to be honest, because you just telecast. You, I,
It looks like you're hacking. It looks like
yeah,
you're glitching out, dude.
the class is like the hacking class without hacking. Like you're not a hacker, but this class makes you look like you're hacking when you're bossing.
Hmm.
And the party utility you get, like you give the whole party like +1 attack speed, damage reduction, everything. You give them everything. You literally just give them every buff.
Hmm.
And I mean that's all there is to it. So we're gonna leave them right there. Their mobbing is kind of like Buccaneer, just not quite as
Hmm.
good.
And if
You
you
just
are looking
teleport it.
for
You just
if you
teleport
are
around
looking
one
for a
touch.
bossing class, this is not the class for you.
No,
But
no.
everything besides bossing, super, super good.
Well, certain bosses, it's really good. Like Gloom. This class is really good because you just teleport, and you
Hmm.
just delete
Yeah.
Gloom, and you can't do.
Honestly,
And
the battle mage, who am I getting? The battle mages are, how would you call it? Gloom specific boss, or
yeah,
our gloom mule, you would say. When we hop on to fight gloom, it's a battle mage job.
yeah, yeah. Wild Hood's a sort of similar situation, like really good, really high party utility. It's got a class bind, which for a bowman, that's indispensable, right? It's the only bowman with a class bind. Um, but
I put it,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, we'll drop it. I actually it doesn't burst though. It's got a lag wire storm.
yeah, it's pretty good
We'll put it
burst.
right there. We'll put it right there. Even with the class bind, it's just not that great. It's also pretty difficult to use, I'd say. The difficulty's up there. Pretty high difficulty. It's not that it's a high input class, it's just that it's like a such a situational class. It's
Hmm.
got a lot of mechanics that I don't want to learn. It's kind of annoying. but it was my favorite class for all of about half a year when it came out. I thought the whole idea of riding a Jaguar was super sick. So awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
And that
Jaguars
was,
are super cool.
yeah, yeah, Jaguars.
The mechanics.
Mechanics, garbage. I mean, I'm all about the whole Gundam idea, the whole SG
I'll
Gundam
put it
thing.
in B tier just because of the Gundam.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's a cool idea. They just the whole like the whole direction with the class, the whole like summoning thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just not. I'm just not about it.
Yeah.
And their damage output is good. Their mobbing is like super good. If you like just dropping something down and running around and deleting
If
the
you can
map
one shot
over.
with the rockets.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, funded. The class is great. There's nothing wrong with the class. I just don't like the play style of like
Yeah.
not holding down a button and running around and deleting the map.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, if
We
this
we
is
could
my
move it
favorite
down if you
class,
wanted. We could move it down if you
is it?
wanted.
Well, functionally, it is. Yeah, we're gonna move it down. It's going. It's just not great. In fact, I'll put it top. Nah, nah. You know what? Yeah, we are. We're gonna put it top of this class. We're also gonna lower Phantom. I don't know what Phantom's doing up in the C tier.
Because of its utility.
Oh, true. It does have a 30-second iframe, but 900-second cooldown. Basically means that you could delete a boss and then log off, log on the next day, and delete another boss with your Phantom.
I would say that it has some of the most survivability. Ton of iframes. Ton of iframes.
Oh,
On the
what?
Phantom.
Mechanic or
The Phantom.
oh, Phantom? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you should just steal Final Cut, Sacrosanctity.
And its
You
fifth
can
job
steal
skills. I think it
Chains of
gets two of
Hell.
them.
You can steal Chains of Hell. Can oh, but
Is that a
it's a
move
fourth.
anymore?
No, it's a third job skill. It's a third job skill. You can
Doesn't
actually
have
steal Chains of
iframes
Hell.
though.
It does. Chains
Not
of Hell is
anymore.
yes. Chains of Hell is an iframe skill
I don't
that
believe
dual
you.
blades still have. Bro, I just bossed with my dual blade yesterday, and I
No,
popped
I
Chains
don't
of
see it.
Hell on Arcarium when he freaking did his clear with his whatever skill.
I don't think so. I don't know
No,
what to
yeah.
tell you.
Phantoms can steal. Phantom Chains of Hell is a third job skill, that dual blade skill. Phantoms can steal it.
Can
It
they
just does
steal it
no
though?
damage. Yeah, well, I mean, they don't steal it because it's not a buff, so it doesn't give you what Final Cut gives you.
Yeah, but I just don't think they can steal it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm pretty sure they can. And if you just want more survivability, that's one. So that's a third job iframe skill. They have a fourth job iframe skill with Final Cut, 4 second iframe, plus all the final damage. And then they have a hyper iframe skill. So that's only three iframes that they might get access to. Whatever. It's a garbage class. Really good, really cool idea though. Probably the coolest idea for a class, out of any of these.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Blaster. I hate this class. I'll be honest. I just terrible in this class on one of my newest accounts just to get it over with. It sucks. This class sucks. I'm actually gonna put it below. Yeah, it's like great. Yeah, like good damage, good DPM, really good DPM class. I just don't really like the mechanics of it. You just bob and weave and hold shotgun punch down to get your stacks up, and then you have to do whatever to get your bunker buster stacks up. I don't even know what skill you use to get your bunker buster up when you're bossing. It just sucks, dude. The class sucks. And it's such a high input class. I wouldn't call it a high effort class because there's not that much thought process that goes into why you're playing this class, like positioning and whatnot. It's not a hard class to play. It's just such a high button input class for not that much return. What do you think, Michael?
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
Yeah,
It's just not.
like
I gave up getting mine to 200 just because I didn't enjoy playing it.
Yeah, it sucks. It really just sucks.
Demon
We're gonna leave it.
Avenger.
Oh, this class is actually really good, and the buff, the frenzy, dude. This class is really good. I mean, like, I would have it up here with these classes because as far as like mechanics go, like they can ignore a lot of mechanics and whatnot. But they actually can't because all of their damage comes from frenzy, and frenzy means they have to stay at such a low HP threshold to the point where they actually do have to. You can't actually ignore mechanics because you will die because you're in
Mm-hmm.
such a fragile state most of the time. Like 90% of the time, you're below 30% HP to get all of your final damage. But outside of that, their damage is actually really good. Their mobbing is really good. This is like one of the easiest class to get to 210 after level 140.
Mm-hmm.
It's like up there. The easy classes to train to 210. It's like pretty like low on a low budget. You don't have to fund this class very high. It's pretty easy to play. It's pretty fun. You just gotta listen to this stupid guy saying exceed every 5 seconds, but it's about it. It's probably the
Well,
worst part about the class.
it gets so annoying so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's really nothing wrong with this class. I think the class is
Mm.
in a pretty good spot right now. It used to be broken, it then became horrible, and now it's fixed and it's decent. And it does good damage. It's got pretty good mobility. It's got its nether shield thing, which should be a toggle in my opinion,
I
but it's
agree.
not. It's just a button you have to press every like what is it, 10 seconds or something?
Mm-hmm. It does
14
have
seconds.
Lord of the Deep, basically, as their own version of that.
Yeah, it's like a fourth job version of Lord of the Deep. It's just not quite as good, and you have to constantly press the button. It's like an active skill that lasts for 14 seconds, and then you have to repress it. Kind of sucks. Kind of sucks. It's a pretty poor mechanic that they didn't fix, but maybe they might. You know, good solid class
But a
and
solider class.
pretty good primary weapon in my opinion. I like their primary weapon a lot more than this primary weapon. I'm not a huge fan of one-handed maces. Think there's a big problem with the one-handed mace.
But I will say,
But
I do think it's better than the Demon Avenger.
oh yeah, no, this class is going right up here. This class is easily one of the most broken classes in the game. Okay, let's think about it. Just kit alone. I'm not even talking about funding. Kit alone. 100% IED built in. 100% crit rate built in. Bind built in. Burst really good built in.
Shadow Partner.
Yeah, they've basically got freaking Blue Blood, Shadow Partner, Line Story 2.0. It's just a less good version of Cannoneer's Line Story,
It
but
can heal
still does
itself.
tons of line. It's got lifesteal built in. It's got really good mobility with the wings. Like the demon mobility is actually really good. Once you get used to
Mm-hmm.
it, you can dodge Lucid Dragon. You can hover for endless amounts of time. It's really good. You can dodge all the garbage electric floor. You can dodge that in Lotus. There's so many things you can dodge. You don't need blink for all the late game bosses that require blink. They don't need it. The demons don't need it. Um, let's see what else do the demons there have that no one else does that makes this class broken.
I think that
Um,
was pretty much it.
it's it's such a broken class. I'm not a huge fan of it. The only limiting factor, which is the reason why it's not here, and it's only here, is because yes, their survivability isn't quite as good as these are, and two, they have like the most buffs that like your before your burst is up, you have like 11 buttons to press, and it's really annoying. It's super annoying. Like by the time you press your 11th button, the first button you press duration is almost running out. It's just garbage. That's why I don't like this class. That's why I don't have this class as a bossing mule. But this class is fundamentally a very good bossing mule to have, and that's just as
Mm-hmm.
simple as that. Any closing thoughts on this class, Michael?
Just super good, super solid. If you're starting out, this would rank in my top 3.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just got like the crit rate and the ID 100% alone just makes this class invaluable. Better than every class here. Like as a starting bossing main class that you want to start out.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Next up, the
Xenon. Oh shoot, where did I just drop that?
D tier. I mean C tier. C tier.
Oh, to be fair, that's kind of a fitting spot for it.
Yeah,
Uh,
putting it there.
this class is good. Uh,
It's
this
pretty
class
cool.
scales really well. Like in the 250s, once you start getting high levels, this class is one of the best because they have access to pirate nodes shared skills and thief shared skills. So like you can dice, Shadow Walker, Last Resort, Burst, broken, absolutely busted combination. But up until that point, I
Not
would
great.
actually have them in a terrible spot. They are garbage. Their nodes are impossible to get. You're like just the I mean their nodes are trash. Their equipment is trash. Like imagine a Xenon running around with a freaking pirate hat on. It's horrible to look at. It's horrible to look at. My Xenon, which I only got to 120 and left him on my newest account. He's just garbage, dude. He's wearing a freaking pirate hat with his laser beam sword, and it's like, what? This doesn't make sense. Like the character doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think they kind of. I mean, yeah, I don't know why they made him a pirate thief combination when he should be just a pirate. And then there's nothing wrong with just a pirate who uses luck, strength, and dex, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. But just wear pirate gear and only have pirate nodes because he is technically just a futuristic pirate. He's kind of like a jet, kind of like a jet, but just a little bit less galactic-y, less space futuristic, and more like uh Terminator kind of iRobot futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a really good class, but it is just a purely late game class. It's horrible to train up to 235, and the nodes are garbage. Horrible. It's staying there. I'm sorry, but it's staying there. Its burst is really good. And also the mechanics about this class, like the whole like 3 options for 4 different skills or something, it's kind of sucks.
Mm.
You gotta really like the playstyle to like that class. And you gotta like the animations, the whole theme of the class. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh,
But,
and potting for this class sucks. This is one of the hardest classes to get
mm-hmm.
potential lines on. You can only take all stat.
Which is not
Um,
ideal.
oh, totally.
But
Uh,
Kaiser, Dragon
really good
class.
class. Really good class.
I'd chuck it in
DPM
A
wise,
tier.
I'll have it around the same as Demon Avenger. Like actually, Demon Avenger is probably better than Bowmaster, and it's actually probably better than all these. It's probably right below Luminous. Same with Kaiser. I'll have Kaiser around here. This class is really good, actually. Uh, Transformation. Actually, no, it's another classic transformation class, which kind of I'll put it bottom of A tier. Actually, I'll put it top of B tier, just simply because of the transformation class, which heavily limits this class. What do
Expound
you
on
think,
that.
Michael? So outside of transformation, this class is not very good.
I see.
Inside of transformation, this class is great.
Yeah.
But I actually think this class is what, like a 75% transformation uptime?
Maybe, yeah.
But like the disparity between transformed and not transformed is a way bigger disparity than this class. Like way
Mm-hmm.
bigger. It's like art. Trash class. Outside of Spectre form, S tier class inside of Spectre form, but I mean, since we're doing Nova, I would actually, we'll probably just keep these classes together. Actually, bottom of A tier,
That's
I'd say.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
What do you think? Like,
The only
Arc
reason
is
I
just a
really
little bit better because it's burst. It's burstier, which makes it by being a burst class, makes it a little bit better for the higher tier bosses. Just because when burst windows over to like slime, this is a great class for slime. Um, I mean, it's a 4 minute class. It's not a 3 minute
yeah,
class technically, but but
but
this is just a DBM class. This is a great class for walking in the dojo. This class, this class, this class, all this class, all great dojo classes. All of the archers, in theory, it's all dojo classes. This
how do
class.
you how do you feel about the Kaiser knowing it's the reason why Dark Knights are no longer Dragon Knights?
Oh yeah, no, this. I mean, this class used to be my favorite class in the game back in the day before fourth jobs existed, and this class was called the Dragon Knight, and it had a skill called Dragon Shot, which was spammable, and you could just delete the whole map. You just held it down, Dragon Shout, FMA. That's how they trained. And then fourth job came out. They went from being a Dragon Knight to a Dark Knight, which I think is a little bit of a relegation in 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 concept. As a concept, I think it's a relegation. And then they came out with Kaiser, which is basically just Dragon Knight, and it was a little. My feelings were kind of hurt. My Dragonite, my level 127 Dragonite, which got never touched again after fourth job came out, but just sat there. You know, he just stayed there at Crimson Castle. I don't even think he's moved yet. I mean, I don't even know what that account has happened. It's probably gone. That account's gone. But he still
I
sat there
assume
with a
so.
frozen spear, chasing Fangblade's memory. That's all it is.
Good times. All right,
Pretty
moving
sad.
on.
Yeah, I mean, this class is good for dojo, and that's about it. And its hitbox is way too big. In transformation, it gets hit by everything. It's hard to dodge with this class in
hmm
transformation. Whereas this class doesn't, its hitbox doesn't increase when he goes into spectral
Yeah,
form. So you can still dodge shit.
I will say Kaiser is one of the few classes where if you're a Kaiser main, very respectable. I respect Kaiser
Yeah,
mains.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, the link skill is trash, even for the class. This,
Legion's trash.
yeah, its own link skill sucks. Whereas like Demon Avenger, great link skill. And unfortunately, if you're a Demon Avenger, you have to make a Kaiser for the link skill for the HP percent.
hmm
Um,
Oh, we have one of my least favorite classes coming up.
yeah, I mean, I don't mind this class. I actually, not gonna lie, I kind of like the voice lines. I
For
think it's
me,
a pretty fresh change of pace. Like if you just make a bunch of characters, and then when you get to this character, actually kind of a refreshing character to
yeah.
make. Like big numbers, huge numbers, one-liners. I mean, that's the class by definition. You
hmm
know?
And that's the reason I don't like this class. Um, I don't like seeing one-liners. I'm a fan of the multi-line. I don't want to pretend like I'm playing back in 2008 seeing one line of damage. It's one of the
Power
reasons I
strike.
think that the Wind Archer is not as satisfying as the one line of
Oh,
Song of
yeah,
Heavens.
the window too is griefed. Oh, no.
But
Yeah, yeah.
Angelic Buster, it's cool. I really the movement is pretty good. I think it has a pretty good flash jump.
It
It's
does have a
built
really
to
good
chain
flash jump.
stocks though.
It does have
Built to chain stocks.
it does have what's it called?
Vertical.
Chain rope lift, which is kind of nice. It's not as good as the Kadena and the Cane rope lift,
hmm
but it's still pretty good. It's kind of nice to
But
have.
some of its skills are pretty massive, and that is cool. I just Don't
Yeah,
like seeing one-liners.
I I really like all the animations for their skills. I think their hammer is cool, their spikes are cool, their celestial roar is cool. Their Trinity is actually a really good bossing skill. It's like a hurricane skill. They get dice. Uh, this class is actually, dude, I'm not gonna lie, this class is actually really good. In post Destiny, this class got a lot better, and their spotlight got changed, so you actually don't have to be in the center of the map to get all your final damage buff. You can actually be in the corner. It makes Will a lot easier to solo with this class. Because all you can get spotlights and still be on the side of the map. Um, I'll actually put it bottom. I think it's better than all of these classes. Well, not Mercedes, but we agreed that Mercedes is just too difficult of a class
I'd
to be
say
put up here.
Cannoneers are better as well.
What then, Angelic Busters?
Oh yeah.
You actually think Cannoneers are better than Angelic Busters?
Oh yeah.
Dude, Trinity. Mm, all right, that's fine. You can put it there.
You'll have to show me your high level Angelic Buster account because I think I just haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, neither have I actually. I forgot where my
Yeah,
Angelic Busters. It's like
can watch
what
that.
is it? It's like I don't think it's 250, but it's up there.
It's close. I think you're like 3 or 4 levels away.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think I've played it since like 2018. But
It has been a while. It has been a while.
but on my new account I got one to 210 and it was a joy to play, I thought, post Destiny. I thought it was a
Hmm.
massive joy to play. Um
Yeah, I like lines and seeing them.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, fair. It's easy to play though. Like the
Hmm.
difficulty is not high.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun. Oh, actually, no, you're right. It is down here because it's got another Demon Slayer syndrome. This class require the most buffs before burst in the game.
Hmm.
Most buttons pressed before you burst, which kind of sucks. Kadena, hardest class in the game to play. Just straight up hardest class in the game. Now, that being said, if you can play this class properly, uh, you could be have potential to be up here damage wise. They get a flat out 88% final damage buff with all their stacks up, which is nuts. It's straight up
Hmm.
nuts. They have 8 weapons in total, and they get 11% final damage buff per weapon that they use.
It's good.
But it's constantly juggling buttons. Like, dude, your keyboard is just all skills. Your keyboard is
Hmm.
all active skills. Sucks. And everything is like displacement. You have to animation cancel every single weapon that you use. And you have to actually, every time the boss is doing something, you have to actively make the choice. Do I want to displace myself or do I want to animation cancel the weapon that I'm using to
Hmm.
not displace myself? And it's super squishy, right? They have one iframe, I think, which is also their bind, so it's not a great iframe. Um, it's hard. It's a hard class to play, but their damage output is, in theory, highest. I mean, one of the highest in the game. I just
Yeah,
don't
top
think it
five.
ever gets.
Top five.
I just don't think there's many people that can play this class properly because of how
Hmm.
hard it actually is. That being said, it's in this row for me. We'll put it in this row with Mercedes. Mercedes and Cadena are kind of same
That's fine.
situation.
That's
Cadena a
fine
little
with
bit
me.
harder difficulty, a little bit higher damage output. Mercedes is just fun. Mercedes is a fun class. Kane, sort of similar to these.
I think Kane
Actually,
is
Kane's top.
good.
Kane's up here.
Yeah, I think it's very good.
Yeah,
Especially if you're
Kane's up here.
unfunded. I think it's really good. Don't know too much about its bossing in my own personal playtime. I think it's
Um,
probably average, nothing too special.
um, It's a burst class. It's a 90-second class, I think. It's
Oh,
fifth
that's
job
right.
burst is it's really good. You have to
Yeah.
pop all your stacks. You have to apply all your stacks, and then you pop them with your execute skills, and then you
Hmm.
dash in, pop your stacks, dash out, and
Yeah.
that's kind of the mechanics. So you
I
like
forgot.
it's a really good class. It's a really good
Hmm.
class. It's pretty good, really good mobility. A little bit hard difficulty. It's hard to commit damage because they do have an iframe that's pretty low cooldown, but it's like hard to do. Like you can
Hmm.
run through the lotus lasers when you use one of your execution skills, but like it's a pretty hard rotation. It's a pretty hard class to execute the rotation on, like a full rotation.
I did just
So
remember one of the things I don't like about this class is the mechanic of that you use a skill and then you tap the execute button and then just switching between the execute mode and the random mode wasn't a huge fan of.
oh, that's the malice mode.
Oh, malice
Yeah.
mode, yeah. Wasn't the
Oh
biggest
yeah.
fan.
They've got like a burst every 10 seconds, and you have to actively switch to the burst mode. And then you get to burst one skill. You get to choose one skill to burst out. It's cool. It's a fun play style. It's like a different play style. So if you like that play style, this class is up here. Really high damage output. If you don't like that play style, it's a lot to find. You
Yeah.
find it a lot to micromanage. It's probably down here with the Cadena Mercedes, but it's not actually as
Mhm.
difficult as these two classes, which I'm gonna put it up here. And the damage output is um easier to achieve, which
Mhm.
means in which I mean by definition that just gives it a higher damage output because you can log into this class and play it at a higher level than these two classes. You can't just you can't just have a bossing mill as a Mercedes or Kaduna because you can't just log into those classes and then just play them at a high level. It's just not possible. Like you just can't walk into Lomian and just play these classes. But you can kind of play this class at a high level or a decent enough level. Um,
Mhm.
Ilium, this class is broken. I'm sorry, this class is broken. This class is one of the best classes to do Black Mage, Dark No, Varicilla. You just fly. You just fly around. And it's got a higher uptime flight than the Jet's spaceship. You can literally just fly, delete the boss, ignore mechanics. You can dodge everything because you're just flying the whole time. You shoot homing missiles, so you commit so much damage. You put your summons down, which are easy summons to put down. It's not like setup summons. You literally just put your deuce down, your combined robot, and he just deletes. He just puts out so much damage. And I mean, I don't know, Michael. What do you think? I mean, this class is one. This class is probably arguably probably the best mage in the game. Actually, I'd even go as far as to put it up here. I mean, this class is broken. If you watch videos about this high level bossing, you will understand. I don't have one high level, but I wish I did. It's
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah, I'm gonna default to your opinion because I know how much you like this class. And so putting it S tier is fine.
Yeah,
I would put it in not that though.
really.
But only because of the playstyle. I'm not a huge fan of, but
Oh
it
yeah. I
has
mean, the
it
play
has
style is
stuff going for
whatever.
it.
You just gotta press your orb button every once in a while to just,
Yeah.
and that's only for mobbing. For bossing, it's a completely different play style
Hmm.
because you don't have to move the orb as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're mobbing and you're running around the map, you have to just tap your orb button just to make sure the orb stays in front of you, and you're always using your skills on your orb. And they have like a 7 second cooldown or something for that orb
Hmm.
effect. And what the orb does is it gives your active skills like a better effect. And fun fact, this class is the only class given no funding. Just imagine no funding. You walk in with a level 100 fresh fourth jobber into Zakum. This is the only class in the game that can actually one shot Zach. No funding. you just hit your orb and then boom, it smacks everything and it goes back to the orb and it smacks everything again and it just one shots him. That's it. It's the
Hmm.
only class that I one shot Zach with. And Aaron is the only class that I was successfully did Zach at like level 95 or
Yeah,
something.
very early. All right, who's next?
Adele, really good class. I don't think it's that broken. I actually think it's right here with the arc. I think there's a lot of micromanagement with the class. I think it's cool. I mean, it's a visual class. You get to see a lot of swords fly around. It looks like a freaking like one of those screens like EDC where you're just watching a bunch of lights flying
Or who's
around.
that? Who's that bleach guy?
Oh, oh, the sixth captain,
Yeah,
the
the one with the
sixth.
rose petals.
Yeah, yeah. I forgot his name.
Yeah, but
Captain something Renji.
if you want to be that guy, then play it down.
Yeah, but
A lot of
he's the
swords
sixth
flying
captain
around.
in Bleach
Yeah, I put it
season
S
like
tier just because of the damage, and it has. Does it have a bind?
um it doesn't have a bind.
I
It's got a
think it
good burst.
has. Yeah,
It
well,
has a bind?
It has no.
It
It
does.
has party utility, which is pretty good.
Do you want to put it in S tier, really?
I put it bottom of S tier. I'd say it's
Alright.
definitely better than the battle mage. So
Well, the battle mage is only there because of party utility.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Battle mage isn't here because of damage.
Right, and
These
the
two
Adele
classes
has
are only.
both. So
Does it? Does it have party utility?
yeah,
What does
I
it do for
think
the
so.
party?
More damage.
I mean, that's like more damage. The Wild Hunter is the best damage buff in the game, and look where the Wild Hunter's sitting.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the damage itself.
Okay, Hoyoung, best burst class in the game. So that being said,
It's very good.
it's actually the best class to do slime with. But again, it kind of falls into the Demon Slayer Angelic Buster syndrome, although the only difference being that it's not just pressing buttons, it has to actually do setup to then press its buttons. It has to like get its freaking whatever stone, wind, humanity
Something. It
stacks
has a
to then get
gauge.
its
It's a
scroll
gauge class.
stacks. It's gauge class, but it's not just one gauge class like a Pathfinder and the freaking Aaron and the freaking the Adele. It's like a two gauge class.
3.
And the Ilium's a one gauge class. This is a double gauge class, and it's a lot to micromanage. And whenever you use a skill, you don't consume a certain amount of that gauge, consume the whole gauge, so then you have to refill it up. So it's a bit tedious to play. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it is extremely high burst. People who do like it thinks it's a lot of fun. I can't I don't like the class, but I can't
Mm-hmm.
deny that it does belong up here.
Yeah, I would agree. All right, moving on to D
We'll put
tier.
that bottom. We'll put that bottom of C tier because it's not actually that bad. It's got a lot of party utility. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
got a lot of party utility, but its party utility is like really high difficulty to use. Like it's
Yeah,
super situational party utility skills, and it's like it's got like a river it can put down. It's got like a an updraft it can put down that all the party members can fly on.
yeah,
It's
but it's
weird.
not like
It's a weird class. It's a
yeah, we're not huge fans.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this class. I also don't really like the voice lines. I think it's a worse version of her voice lines. Um, yeah, it's a constant struggle with that class. What else can we say about this? I mean, the mobbing
Um,
is good. It's like arguably top five mobbing in the game. You just put a bunch of summons down and they delete the map for you and you run around and
I
you
just
get to
wish
collect
they'd last
souls and
longer. If each summon lasted a minute, I'd be happy.
yeah, I mean but you're putting him up constantly, so like you just can only put one of each type up.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's not that deep. Like, it's a good class, I guess. It just sucks for bossing. Solo bossing, this class
Mm-hmm.
is not good. Which is like
Oh yeah.
over 50% of this game is solo bossing. So yeah, it's not great.
Right.
We'll
Hayato.
come back. Yeah, we can do Hayato now. This class is S tier, except that this is the second hardest class in the game to play, minus Kadena. Arguably just as hard as Kadena. Uh, Damage output is disgusting. It's not a burst class though, which is unfortunate. And it's a lot of upkeep while you're bossing. You got a
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Blade, 5 seconds. The difficulty is extremely high. The movement is a lot. There's a lot you can dodge. There's a lot you got to take into account. Um, the damage is up there, so I'm gonna keep it right around hero style because it's got way higher damage output than the hero,
That's fine with
but
me.
its difficulty is just so hard. But it's not. Mm, actually, by default, I guess I had to put it down here with these, don't I? Yeah, I kind of do. Like you're not gonna start out and make a Hayato and main a Hayato because it's just way
Mm-hmm.
too hard to play. It's so hard to play. These three classes are so hard to play. And they all have like slightly different play styles. Like this one's got the most animation canceling along with this one. This one's got the most comboing, like hard comboing and movement. This one, well, they all have a lot of movement. Actually, these two are more so than this one. This one has conscious movement, but this one just has like the most upkeep, like your buffs upkeep, Phantom Blade upkeep, um, dodging skills, and like using your different combination skills that they all
Mm-hmm.
combine into one button, but you cannot use that one button because it just locks you. It leaves you frozen until you finish the whole 7 move combo. So don't ever use that one that first job button that links all of your skills together because that will get you killed in a boss fight.
Yeah.
You have to actually have the 7 different buttons laid out on your keyboard, and it kind of sucks because only like 3 of them are useful, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. But now it's time for a class that has fallen from grace.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna put that there. Um, I mean,
That's
it's still
enough said.
okay for party utility. Like party utility, it's still like A tier. It's like maybe the same as Battle Mage. It's just
Mm-hmm.
half of what a Battle Mage
Yeah.
is, which pretty much leaves you at the bottom. It's like
Still,
garbage. It's actually
still,
garbage, you know.
still really good at mobbing.
Oh yeah, no, it's still exceptional at mobbing. Although you have to use totems with it now, and you can't actually kitchen mob. But the summons, it's still got the best summons in the game. It's still,
Yeah. It just now it's.
I mean, it's fine for farming. It's still farming. You just have to use totems now when you farm on your Kana. But if you still have
Mm-hmm.
like a percent Mesa, percent drop farmer, there's nothing wrong with that. You just got to spend your reward points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also at the bottom. Its final damage got sucked, like literally disappeared. Yeah, that's about it. Should we move on, or do we have more to say about this file?
I have no more to say.
I mean, it's cool because it can like you can block a lot of debuffs. Like you can block Crimson Queen Zombify. You can block Gallick's reverse keys. Just Haku just blocks everything. There's a lot of mechanics you can ignore, but the damage just got sucked. Like literally just evaporated. They just Nexon just eviscerated the common damage. I
Mm-hmm.
actually feel horrible for a Kana main. And this is another thing. Now that we're towards the end of this video, when you make a character in Maplestory, when you main a character, don't main a character that is not part of KMS. I will list all of those now. That is Kana. Um,
Hayato.
don't main a Kana. Hayato, not in KMS. Doesn't have balancing resources around it. Doesn't have good attention detail from KMS from Nexon. What else? There is the
Beast
so
Tamer.
Kana, Hayato, Beast Tamer, which actually is pretty good at the moment, but they have a lot of mechanics. Beast Tamer is the only example where it actually benefits the Beast Tamer. The Beast Tamer is the only class in the game that can suck up and displace the Black Mage because Nexon just hasn't fixed it yet. He can use his bellowing breath and he can literally suck the Black Mage to him, which is broken. It's broken in a lot of circumstances, but yeah, that's an interaction that's not supposed to happen, but it's not a KMS class, so it's just a bug that Nexon hasn't fixed yet. So that's 3, and then there's another one. Let me look through all these classes. Hayato. Oh, Jet. Jet's another one.
Oh, chat.
Jet used to be way more buggy than it is now. It's kind of fixed, I guess. Um, but yeah, it's not a KMS class. Wouldn't advise maining a Jet. And not Xenon, right? Xenon's a KMS class.
I think so.
I think that's it. I think it's just those 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, don't main those 4 classes. All right, where are we? Here?
Well, yeah, the one on the list, yeah, at the bottom.
All right, this is super controversial. Uh, but like I always made the point that if you could take any one class back in time to old school Maplestory when all the end game bosses were stationary bosses, this is the class I would take with me. Because Kinesis has the highest damage output to stationary targets, which sounds like a bad thing. Well, it sounds like a good thing, but it's actually kind of a bad thing. Uh, but it's not actually a bad thing. It just requires because they have that 5th job skill dodecahedron that just requires a lot of micromanagement, right? So you just got this thing, it does a ton of damage, ton of lines, but you have to micromanage it, which is kind of tedious. It also puts you at risk because you're looking at your dodecahedron more so than you're actually looking at what's going to hit you usually.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's horrible for like P2 Lucid, P3 Lucid, like all the bosses that just fly around. P2 through 5 Black Mage. Um, but it's actually a really good high theoretical damage output class. Now, outside of that, they don't really offer much to the party. They don't have the best mobility because they're a flash jump mage class, which I think is kind of bad. Their mobbing is really good, sure, but I don't know, Michael, where are we putting this?
Currently, I'd put it C or B. Yeah, it's up to you though. Since I know you're more of a fan of that class, you can decide its final place.
Yeah, I'm thinking putting it here. I mean, if you can
Especially,
get your damage off, it brings it up into like wait,
yeah.
like A tier, but like it's just so hard to get the damage off. It's just not reliable damage in most of the end game bosses.
Mm-hmm. All
Yeah.
right,
Um.
it's a 0 dot.
Yeah. 0.
One of the coolest gameplay
Yeah.
mechanics, I'd say.
Yeah. Just one of the most brilliant executed classes I think Nexon has probably done. Out of all 49 classes, I actually think this is one of the most brilliantly executed class. Their storyline, I loved. I loved just doing the 0 storyline for every account. The Legion skill's great. Their Link skills, well, it sucks, but whatever. I mean, it's IED if you need the IED. Um,
can never have too much AD.
Uh, the mechanic is freaking awesome. It's like who's that character from Super Smash Brothers Ultimate, Michael? The
I
two. It's
mean,
kind of
we could,
reminds me of Martha Roy, but it's not.
yeah, Pyramithra.
Who?
Pyramithra. It's the from Xenoblade. But you can also say
Yeah.
Zelda Sheik if you wanted.
Oh yeah, Zelda Sheik, I guess, but less so because they're not both swordsmen.
True.
But yeah, this is like that example or whatever Michael just said, where it's got like a heavy swordsman and it's got like an agile swordsman, and they've got binds up the shithole. Party utility is actually up here with shade. Honestly, dude, honestly, low key, I'm tempted to put this up here just
It's
because of
just too
party utility.
difficult. It's just too
Like
difficult.
if you need mass binding in a party utility, I mean it's just a joke. Their mobility is obscene because they can they can like dodge Lotus lasers infinitely because they can just send Alpha to the other side of the laser and then you can tag into Alpha, which just puts you on the other side of the laser without ever being tangible at any
Hmm.
point throughout. Because
And they
when
just have a
Alpha goes through
teleport.
the laser, you don't die because Alpha's not you at that time. And then you can tag to Alpha when he's on the other side of the laser. And then it doesn't matter what Beta is doing after that because you're Alpha. Um, they've got really good FMAs. They've got really good mobbing. Their mobbing is probably in the top 6 in the game, maybe. Just falling one short of top 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I've seen some videos and it is pretty crazy.
It's disgusting to watch. The just tornadoes, everything, just deleting maps. Um, their party utility is obscene. Their cooldown, they can just reset everyone's cooldowns inside of their little time circle. They can just
Hmm.
pop that. They can bind, reset their bind, and oh my god, this is how broken this class is. Their bind timer doesn't exist. It doesn't count as a internal bind timer for a boss. So they can bind, reset their cooldowns, bind again, and it doesn't count towards the internal bind timer. And
And what
then
is it, every 10 seconds?
once that's over, so they hyper skill. No, so they bind, they use their fifth job bind, they hyper skill, reset everyone's cooldowns, not just theirs. So they bind, tell everyone to burst. Everyone should know if they're in a party with a zero. Use all your burst. Zero pops their hyper skill, resets everyone's cooldown skills, and then they use that same fifth drop bind skill again. And then once that's 20 seconds of bind while everyone's bursting. And then once that's over, then they can use beta bind or anyone else can bind because now the boss is not on the same. They can just use a normal internal cooldown bind to then apply after that. So that's 30 seconds of bind that they can apply because of the zero. Zero is absolutely must have for any party, like any
Yeah.
serious party. It's just who wants to actually be the one to play the zero, you know?
And
What are we gonna
we like
call over to
zeros here.
KMS XXX the Iran over here? No, no, no. So that's the only unfortunate thing is finding a zero that will actually boss in a party with you guys. But yeah, good luck. It's a really cool concept, really good class. High it's another high input class. It's actually it I mean, I know I
Why?
said 1, 2, 3 are the hardest difficulty classes, but this is actually 4. This is actually number 4,
That's why I
I'd
put it
say.
in A tier.
Um, I would, except that yeah, we'll put it top of A tier. You're right, you're right. Just because their damage output isn't quite as good as what these classes can
Hmm.
achieve. And
All
then
right,
we
last
have
one.
the Beast Tamer.
Yeah, C tier.
This class I would have put in D tier just because it's like buggy. It's not that good. You can't get their skills right, but actually, all the Beast Tamer mains out there, they're extremely happy with the Destiny update. I would even say Beast Tamer is a fully fixed class. I mean, it's got huge supportive buffs. It's basically like similar to the Battle Mage, Bishop-ish, in terms of what they offer for support. Um, Actually, their solo bossing potential is even better now than what these two classes can do. Possibly even the
No,
Zero. Do you think they go here?
I put 0 above them.
I don't know, dude. These tamers are pretty good. Hawk mode makes their mobbing like really good. Their mobbing is actually phenomenal. They just fly around. I don't know, dude. I'm struggling with this class a little bit.
I could see B tier. I don't really see A tier.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. You're right. We'll put them here, and then yeah. So this is the tier list,
Yeah.
everyone. This is pretty much
It,
all the really easy to use or really easy to get high potential out of for minimum funding, or just just high potential in general for for maximum. Like this is just broken classes basically, depending on what phase of the game you're at. Um, or it's just all phases of the game, like these three,
mhm.
these four. Uh, these are extremely good classes at more than like two or more of the categories we were using to rank all of these. So like mobbing and bossing, mobbing and damage output, utility. So like these three that are topping this list is pretty much solely because of utility. Actually, I'm tempted to put Shade at the top of A tier. Because Shade just doesn't have burst, right?
It has some burst.
Okay,
I
we'll
like its
we'll leave it
burst.
there. We'll leave it
My
there.
main.
Yeah. Um And then we've got these, which are just pretty much average classes,
Yeah.
except for these three. These are the only three controversial classes.
Hmm.
They could top this whole chart. They could be in double S tier, except that they just require such a high skill cap that like it's just whether you're good at them, and it's purely up to you. So highly recommend you try these classes once you have like 4K Legion. Come back to these classes, get them over 200, see what you think. Put some effort into learning their mechanics, and if you really like them, give them a solid go. And I mean, they could because in theory they're better damage output than every single class here. Um,
Yeah.
Except for Zero. Zero's sort of in the same boat. It's just they're just high. They're not high effort classes. Well, they are high effort classes, but they're also, along with high effort classes, they're high difficulty classes. Whereas like Thunderbreaker, Blaster, they're just high effort classes, high input, high effort classes. Iran, they're not high difficulty classes though. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, these are just bang average. These are just below average classes. They're lacking in more than one fundamental attribute. And then these are just bad classes. Night Lord's not bad. Night Lord's pretty good.
That might be our most
Um,
controversial.
yeah, it
But
just depends on
yeah.
what phase of the game, I guess. Like late game, Night Lord's really good at bossing and mobbing, but like, yeah, they don't offer any party utility.
Yeah.
They suck early game. They're horrible early game. And yeah, that's it for the tier list.
I hope you
So
enjoyed.
yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Sorry that was super long, but you know how these things go. And throw us a comment if your favorite class, if you think that your main class here is not where it deserves to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace out, lads. See you on the next video.